We'd like to welcome you to Cricket Council USA's 20th anniversary banquet. We're all here today to celebrate Cricket Council USA's outstanding journey of developing cricket in the United States that started back in November of 1999. Tonight, we're having a great program prepared to you. To start off things, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem to be sung by Bianca Sperdetti.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, thank you so much, Bianca Sperdetti. That was beautiful. I know I wish I could have her vocal cords. Doesn't anybody else? Yep, I heard it in the back. Yes?
I've been involved in the US Open now since 2013. Was the first year that I actually attended it. I was not part of management at that time, so I just took a back seat and just watched everything and how it went together, the issues, everything that we could work on, everything that could be improved. And then every year, I mean, I'd like to pick a task and I'd like to improve it on a yearly basis. So what I've done is, when I started the first tournament that I actually organized, we started with 40 teams, and that was 3 years straight. We used 40 teams. We used 11 cricket fields, managed by a completely separate team at each one. And if I remember correctly, it was 96 matches in 3 days. So it was a feat. There's no tournament like the US Open, and I've basically made that my line because coming into this, I have never been a cricket player. The most cricket I played was on the street in Pakistan on vacation once. And that's pretty much it. So I don't have a cricketing background, but I do enjoy the management of it, and I do enjoy meeting all these people I've met. All the people that were at the stadium today and all the people that are here, if I haven't met you, I'm sure we'll talk before you leave. I meet all sorts of different people. We travel constantly with MAQ TV. We've taken our productions internationally. We've gone to Canada, we've gone to St. Martin. We've done pretty much all over the US at this point. We're fully equipped for any sort of event, and we look forward to you guys enjoying this tournament, and I appreciate you guys coming out here. Okay, so one more thing from you guys. I'd like to invite MAQ Qureshi and Markadia to the stage to join me in presenting the certificates of appreciation to the following dignitaries.
First up, we have Cricket Hall of Famer, Michael Chambers. Mike Chambers has been a great friend to the Cricket Council USA over the years and is a fixture of our tournament. We are very happy that this former hard-hitting batsman is here tonight to bring greetings from the U.S. Hall of Fame and also from our counterparts from Connecticut.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Protocol has already been established. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to be here this evening to accept this award. We've been working with Cricket Council USA now for over 10 years. And we think that they are the group of folks who will take cricket to the next level in the United States of America. I am coming all the way from Connecticut. That's where the Cricket Hall of Fame is located. It's 25 degrees up there, so this is a real pleasure to be here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you, Mr. Qureshi and Cricket Council USA, for giving us this award.
And we have Chris here who's going to go ahead and receive.
Next up, we have Mayor of Broward County, Dale Honus. Honorable Mayor Honus doesn't need an introduction. He has served Broward County in various capacities. Before serving as the mayor of Broward County, he serves as a commissioner at City of Lauderhill, commissioner at Broward County, and as a county vice mayor. His support and leadership were key in bringing cricket to South Florida. He has been a strong supporter of the Cricket Council USA since the beginning. We thank him for all his support. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mayor Dale Honus.
Well, good evening. It's my fourth event since 6 o'clock. So I'm on roller skates, jetpack ones. It's good to be here with you again this evening to support the lovely game of cricket. And it's a game that has been impactful to the people of Broward County. I'm really proud to have been one of those persons at the onset of ensuring that we build the only facility in North America that is ICC sanctioned for cricket. Though some at the onset didn't like the idea that we're spending money on this thing called cricket, and some thought it was an insect, we have seen the impact that it has brought to Broward County. The last event that we had with India and the West Indies left a $15 million economic impact on Broward County. That meant jobs for many people. It meant profitability for many businesses. It also meant that we showcased Broward County around the world. Millions of people watched on television that lovely game. We hope that we'll continue to build the bridge to the rest of the world, utilizing cricket as a tool to help the people of Broward County. And also to enjoy the game. It's a fun game, especially 2020. Now, the longer version I grew up on that took 5 days. It's such a transformation, and I expect that we might even see shorter games as time goes on that match the appetite for the American people, which, you know, in America we love things quick and fast, right? So, like fast food. Huh? But it is really indeed a joy for me to stand with Cricket Council to help support their efforts to expand this lovely game of cricket. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to go ahead and welcome Mike Gillin. He's a commissioner of City of Tamarack, and he has a proclamation.
Good evening, everyone. Greetings from the City of Tamarack, Mike Gillin, City Commissioner. So I'm reading this proclamation from the City of Tamarack. Whereas the City of Tamarack recognizes the U.S. Open Cricket 2019 being held December 18th to the 23rd, 2019. And whereas the City of Tamarack recognizes the 20th anniversary of the Cricket Council USA on Wednesday, December 18th, 2019. Whereas the U.S. Open Cricket 2019 is officially sanctioned by the International Cricket Council and is run by Cricket Council USA, gives American players an opportunity to play against world-class competition in a tournament that will feature 28 teams and players from across the world. Whereas the U.S. Open Cricket 2019 is the biggest cricket tournament in the North America, celebrating its 10th year with 11 tournaments being held at the Broward Cricket Stadium at Broward Central Regional Park. And whereas the Broward Cricket Stadium is the first and only cricket stadium in the United States approved by the ICC. And whereas the U.S. Open Cricket 2019 games will run from December 19th to the 23rd, 2019, with adult tournament finals on December 22nd and the 4th youth tournament finals on December 23rd. And whereas this is an international competition enhancing the local economy in Broward County. And whereas Cricket Council USA, founded by Mohammed Qureshi, is committed to teaching, developing, and promoting the sport of cricket at all levels, education, including elementary, middle, and high schools, private and charter schools, and colleges, as well as professional tiers throughout the United States of America. Now therefore, I, Mike Gillin, City Commissioner of the City of Tamarack, Florida, do hereby proclaim the time frame of Wednesday, December 18th, 2019 through Monday, December 23rd, 2019 as U.S. Cricket Open 2019 Appreciation Days. Thank you.
All right, so the next group of people we'd like to acknowledge and just bring up to stage. First person is Fred Bellis. Fred Bellis has been associated with Cricket Council USA for over 2 decades. He manages CCISA's relationship with civic leadership and the governing bodies in Florida. He has served at the office of supervisor. He has served at the office as supervisor of election of presence of our civic leadership here tonight and speaks of his contribution to our organization. Please welcome Mr. Fred Bellis.
Hafizur Rahman. This Bangladesh photographer has also played a role in promoting the work of Cricket Council USA. In terms of getting cricket out there and the masses of America, whenever there's an event and we call on him, he's always there with a broad smile ready to assist. We want to recognize him for his hard work and his contribution to the Cricket Council USA. Please put your hands together.
Next, we have Masroor Rob. Ever since the idea of Cricket Council USA was banded about, Rob was involved. He's not a big cricket fan, but he brought to the table his great management skills. He played a pivotal part in getting the paperwork and other systems up for Cricket Council USA. And up until today, he guards the reputation of Cricket Council USA. Mr. Rob has been more than like a brother to Chairman MAQ over the years and is a fixture at our headquarters in Markadia. Please welcome Masroor Rob.
Next, we have Shahai Zavar. Shahai has been with us since 2014, and this will be his 6th U.S. Open tournament. Shahai, who has been the manager of Brampton Wolves in the GT20. The president of the Cricket Ontario brings a wealth and experience to the Cricket Council USA. He took the work of the Cricket Council USA like a duck to water and was made tournament director of the US Open. He will soon leave for under the 19 World Cup as a team analyst for the Canadian national team. We value his presence with us. Shahai, thank you. Fondly call him as inducted into the US Hall of Fame in 2018.
Next, we have Christopher Paris. Chris has been involved with CCUSA from day one. He's our go-to guy, so if you want something done, just let him know. We appreciate all his support, so please, welcome Chris.
Next, we have Shams Bey. He has been here from the start and is a solid support to the executive of the Cricket Council USA. There's a group of men that Chairman MAQ can call on at any time of the day or night, and Shams is the one. His relationship with MAQ has taken him even on the field to play, and he carries tremendous respect for him.
Next, we have Tanvir Iqbal. Mr. Iqbal is the brother-in-law of MAQ and is there every tournament, every step of the way. He helps in any way possible and is recently notably known for his active social media promotion of Cricket Council and all of their events. Max knows he can count on him to get things done. Welcome, Tanvir. All right, so next we have Shizhan Qureshi. Shizhan is Mac's older brother. Mr. Qureshi has been supporting CCUSA since its inception. His support is always there. Don't let his calm and soft demeanor fool you. He knows how to get the job done. Please welcome Mr. Shizhan Qureshi. So we have Siva Narapareddy. Mr. Narapareddy is a longtime supporter of Cricket Council USA. Siva is a longtime supporter of Cricket Council USA. Matter of fact, he was one of the first to help Cricket Council USA in conducting a tournament outside of USA. Virginia T20 was a very successful event. We thank him for all his support. Please welcome Mr. Siva Narapareddy to the stage.
Abdul Razak Gatia. It's sad that Mr. Abdul Razak Gatia is not here with us tonight. He lost his battle with cancer a few months ago. Mr. Gatia was very instrumental in getting Cricket League going in South Florida in the late 80s and early 90s. He personally supported local teams financially and logistically. His services and support for South Florida cricket in general for Cricket Council USA in particular and unforgettable. Tonight he is not here. However, his son will come up and receive the award. So Mr. Asif Gatia, please come up and receive the award.
Next we have Fran Prasad, VP of Cricket Ontario. Fran started with us in 2014 and worked for 3 years before taking a break. He is back as a guest this year, and I'm sure he is proud of the progress made by the Cricket Council USA. He is the longest serving president of Brampton District Cricket League, and that's over 30 years. He's currently the VP of Cricket Ontario and advisory board for Cricket on Brampton City Council.
Caroline English is accepting an award to honor County Commissioner Commissioner Joseph Iglesias for all of his outstanding work to bring the cricket to Broward County. Ms. Caroline Iglesias.
We'd like to bring up Sherry Markham and Robert Markham, accepting an honor of late property appraiser William Markham for his outstanding support and contribution to cricket in Broward County.
I just want to say my dad was involved with this for over 20 years. Mr. Qureshi is a real good friend of his. Something that he was really passionate about, bringing cricket to South Florida. Something he talked about every night when he would come home. It meant a lot to him, and I wish he could be here today to see how far it's come in 20 years. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next we have is Dr. Ted Toomer. He's a member of Broward County Public School System, is the Director of Leadership Development. His support is instrumental in implementation of cricket programs in the Broward County schools. Welcome, Dr. Ted Toomer.
Next up, we have Dr. Brenda C. Snipes. She's now retired Broward County Supervisor of Elections. We thank her for her contributions in the cricket program. Put your hands together for Dr. Brenda Snipes.
Good evening, everyone. I have to admit I was a little bit surprised at this. I was supporting my friend Carolyn over there on behalf of her husband, Joe. But my time with the Cricket Council goes way back, and not as a cricket, not as a person who knew a lot about cricket, but we got a chance to meet MAQ Qureshi. And he was so supportive of the students in the Broward County schools, getting them involved in the cricket program. He would get himself involved with our activities where we had students to come in who were learning about the election process. He supported that in every way. And so we're really appreciative and congratulate him on the progress that's been made in Broward County in this effort. I knew he could do it. Thank you.
Dr. Jermaine Lennon is the Cadre Director of MS2 for Broward County Public Schools. We appreciate his support for the cricket in Broward County Public Schools. Thank you, Dr. Jermaine Lennon.
All right, we'd like to bring up Mr. Jeff Miller. Today he is known with the Jamaica Talawas at the CPL, but how many of you all know that Jeff Miller was a key man in the Cricket Council USA set up years ago? He was the operations manager and worked tirelessly to bring professionalism to the set. Jeff Miller made a concerted effort to build cricket, and we recognized him. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Jeff Miller. All right, so the head of West Indies Board, Mr. Ricky Skinner. Previously, he was the Minister of Tourism and International Transports, St. Kitts and Nevis, 2010 to 2013. Minister of Tourism, International Transport, International Trade, Industry, Commerce, and Consumer Affairs, St. Kitts and Nevis, 2013 to 2015. Please welcome Mr. Ricky Scarrett.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank MAQ and his colleague organizers for inviting me. I apologize for being a little bit late. But 20 years is a long time, and anybody celebrating the 20th anniversary, you need to be there. So I made it. I'm here on behalf of Cricket West Indies, and I want you to know that things are getting better. Thank you very much.
In celebrating its 20 years of cricketing success, Cricket Council USA would like to thank a few key people who have gone above and beyond in their support for Cricket Council USA throughout the years. First, we'd like to bring up Mr. Shizhan. Mr. Shizhan has been associated with Cricket Council USA for over 10 years. He has served as Cricket Council USA's regional director and is a member of its central advisory board. Mr. Shizhan was a part of ICC America's restructuring team. This team was instrumental in creating USA Cricket as a new governing body for USA. He is also the co-founder and current president of Midwest Cricket Conference, the biggest cricket league in USA. Please welcome Mr. Shizhan.
Good evening. How about the sunny Florida? It's not so sunny today. We're hoping for better weather. Next few days, I come from Chicago, so this is summertime for us. I brought a little bit of token and a proclamation from Mr. Qureshi from Midwest Cricket Conference. And I'll tell you a brief story. And I know I'm between dinner and you guys, so please bear with me. It says, congratulations on completing 20 years of service to the sport of cricket. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed Qureshi and CCUSA, for keeping cricket relevant to the fabric of the US sports society almost exclusively for 2 decades. Midwest Cricket Conference is a proud partner and supporter of CCUSA today and hopefully forever. A very notable quote from the current Prime Minister and ex-cricket player, Mr. Imran Khan, is quoted on this shield as well. Compromise for your dream, but never compromise on your dream. Thank you for not compromising on your dream, Mr. MAQ Qureshi. Because of you, cricket is alive. Your friends and family of Midwest Cricket Conference.
That was a wonderful quote. I'm going to have to take that one. Next up, we have Mr. Saki Mohammed. He has been associated with the Cricket Council USA for several years. His supporters for US Open in his earlier years have highly appreciated him. He has played an important part in his development in cricket in Texas. Mr. Saki Mohammed has built one of the very few privately owned cricket stadiums in the United States. Musa Stadium has hosted many tournaments in the last few years. I would like to invite Mr. Saki Mohammed onto the stage. And it looks like Chris once again will be taking it home.
All right, Mr. Sanju Patel. Cricket Council USA would like to recognize Mr. Sanju Patel. Mr. Patel's love for cricket is well known in the cricket circles in USA. Mr. Patel is a perfectionist. His professionalism is reflected in his participation in US Open. The US Tigers has been one of the best managed and perfectly presented team in the US Open every year. Please welcome Mr. Sanju Patel.
Thank you. First off, I apologize for being underdressed. I came straight from the field, so sincere apologies. Congratulations to Cricket Council USA on 20 years. I've known Mr. MAQ, Mr. Amin, and the whole team for a while, and I have to say passion can go only so far, but the purpose, because it creates a legacy, and that's exactly what they've done. US Tigers was formed in 2009 for the first edition of US Open, and we've been part of it and look forward to being part of it for many, many more years to come. Congratulations on getting the ICC sanctioning as well. It's a huge achievement being where US cricket is today. Look forward to a fantastic tournament, and thank you all for being here. Thank you again for having me.
Akbar Khan has been a big supporter and contributor to the growth of the Cricket Council. Please put your hands together for Akbar Khan.
Welcome, Mr. C.K. Yao.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is C.K. Yao. I'm the owner of the Atlanta Griffin team. That is my passion. It's my passion that I wanted to get more youth involved in Atlanta into the game of cricket. Because I believe there's a huge opportunity in Atlanta, and we need to get more young men and women to get out from the house, not too much on the cell phones, right? And then get into the field, and cricket will be another, sports that I think people from all sides, including my size, can play, right?
Is a very well-known figure in South Florida in Caribbean cricket. His efforts to assist new teams participating in U.S. Open and other areas of promotions are highly recognized and appreciated. Please put your hands together for Mr. Suraj Bali.
Pleasant good night to each and everyone. I must say, as a player, as a cricket player, playing in America for 10 years now, what Mr. Mohammed Qureshi has brought to America is, other than playing cricket, since I've been here, is a lot of players in America is seeing their role models and icons on national television. And through of Mr. Mohammed Qureshi, he was able to, because of this US Open, it's the biggest tournament, cricket tournament have ever been played in America. Because under his leadership, there's a lot of international players came to play the US Open, and a lot of youngsters was able to see their role models on television and get the opportunity to play alongside them in the teams. Mr. Mohammed Qureshi is one person who is really passionate about the game of cricket. I want to thank you, Mr. Mark, for all the hard work you have been doing and continue to do to uplift the game of cricket in America. Congratulations, sir.
Next up, we have Mr. Zain Jiwanji. It's the latest addition to the list of our premier partners and our franchise holders. Mr. Jiwanji has been associated with the promoting and support for the cricket for several decades. He doesn't mind flying across the world to watch a good game of cricket. We welcome him to the Cricket Council USA family and look forward to working with him for a long time. Please join me in putting your hands together for Mr. Zain Jiwanji.
So disclaimer here and a transparency. I don't know how to hold a bat. I don't know how to bowl. But I'll tell you what MAQ has done over the last 20 years. And right in the corner there is another shield should go to his wife who tolerates him for all this. Really, because my wife, who's in California right now, I'm going to fly back next morning. Thank you, Matt, for everything you've done. I mean, and the entire team. And we've got ICC sitting here, and I'll tell you, when Willow started first, I encouraged Samir and all to put ads in there, and I sponsored cricket. I tell you, this guy has really put his own pocketbook, his own money, his own time, and the cost of his family and everybody else, but amazing stuff. Thank you. Thank you.
We also want to recognize a couple of our friends and a long-term associate of Cricket Council USA. Mr. Wasim Ahmed is here. Wasim, please come up here. Wasim is the quietest guy you will know. You might not even say thank you to us. He's so quiet. He doesn't, he's very humble. Thank you, Wasim. Last but not the least, we want to acknowledge Mr. Aftab. Aftab is here. Aftab, please come up here. Thank you. Thank you. You work for an airline, so you can ask him to be anywhere, anytime you want. I guess it's convenient for him.
All right, so next we'd like to welcome Ahmed Qureshi, also known by AJ. AJ is the eldest son of MAQ Qureshi. He holds his bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Florida in Gainesville and is currently pursuing a master's degree in counseling from the University of Southern Mississippi. While continuing his education, he also is involved in research and teaching at USM. Unlike his younger brother, Shizhan Qureshi, he is less involved in cricket, but in his free time he pursues his passion for fencing. He would like to say a few words, so please welcome
I want to add something. He's one of my favorite. He's it's awesome. He's like very, very supportive. He just travels across the country, helps kids in so many ways. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much for the introduction. That was really kind. As they said, I'm less involved in the world of cricket when compared to my father and my younger brother, and at the same time, growing up in the house with the two of them, it would be impossible for me not to share some passion for the sport. I'm old enough to remember all 20 years that CCUSA has existed, and I've watched my father dedicate countless hours of effort into making this organization what it is and working towards achieving his goals. Whether it be organizing the US Opens, building this internationally sanctioned cricket stadium right here in Lauderhill, or supporting the growth of cricket all across America. He made an energy drink too. No one's mentioned that yet, and if you get a chance, you should really talk to it. It's probably the best energy drink I've ever tasted. And through all of that, seeing my father's role in the growth of this organization has been inspiring and serves as a continual reminder to me that with enough passion and dedication, any dream can come true. Thanks.
Okay, this event is very well planned, and a lot of people are involved in this, organizing this event. Some of us are here, but the people who are actual, should take credit for this. I want to put your hands together for Tisha, for Marianne, and behind the scenes we have that they help Mac's family. His wife, she has been heavily involved in setting up this place, and she's kind of always taking backstage and she's giving her all the credit. So please give her a round of applause. Thank you. And she's my daughter too, Samantha Qureshi. She's actually not feeling well tonight, so she's the CFO of Cricket Council USA, and I just want to say a couple of words. Every time we have a meeting, the first word she says, no. And then we tell her what we want, and then she probably get to convince her. But she's keeping all of us in check most of the time. She's very professional, and I'm sure she's watching her dad too, because otherwise he would go, spend all the money he doesn't have at time. And also Fiza, thank you. Sumit is here somewhere. Sumit, appreciate that. Okay, right there. Rashida, thank you. Tehseen is here. I think a lot of Tehseen are here. So, everybody is, please, give them. Thank you.
Now we would like to welcome Mr. Shizhan Qureshi. Shizhan is the captain of the U.S. All-Star team. He was the youngest player to play in the inaugural U.S. Open in 2008 at the age of 11. He is 11. He is also one of the few players who have played in every single U.S. Open since its inception. Shizhan also participated in the CPL representing Guyana and Amazon Warriors, and in the global T20 Premier League as part of the Toronto Nationals. Please welcome Mr. Shizhan Qureshi to the stage.
Thank you everyone for having me here. I just want to say congratulations on 20 years. That's 1 year younger than me. So CCUSA has been going on for a long time. It's really helped me improve my game, and it's the reason why I play cricket today. So I can't thank you guys anymore, and congratulations on 20 years.
All right, so we'd like to welcome Mr. Vinod Mamchan. He's a celebrated international journalist and commentator from the West Indies. He has topped 16 awards in journalism and has traveled the world covering cricket and is highly respected in many countries. He has covered 7 World Cups and has done commentaries with legends like Viv Richards, Clive Lloyd, Steve Waugh, and Kapil Dev, just to name a few. He has been to 8 U.S. Open tournaments and is a key man at MAQ TV. Please welcome Mr. Vinod Mamchan.
Good night, everyone. It was Mr. Qureshi, who I always say once you're close to him, you have to be special. He's the only man who will actually one day get me kicked out of my house. Because anytime he calls, you must respond. Such a great man, and of course, a man with vision. And I remember once we were in Times Square, and we were passing Forever 21. He looked at me and he said, you know what, boy, I'll forever be 21. And you look at him and you see that, a wonderful man, a man with a vision. These 2 guys here, sometimes I'm by Mark's home, and very early, they play tennis in slow motion. And I look at both of them and I see the passion for cricket. 2 great friends who wanted to do something for cricket in America, and they were the ones who conceptualized what we see today, CCUSA. So I think people just look at US Open, but I always, when I write my releases, I will say that the US Open comes under the umbrella of CCUSA, and I think we should really give these 2 gentlemen a tremendous round of applause. Over the last 10 years or so, we've had a number of legends coming in to play. When Mark started, he went to where cricket is the greatest in the world, and that is the West Indies. And in 1999, he hosted the first T20 match here in America. A lot of people speak about Alan Sanford, but Mark was the one that brought the first T20 match, and that took place at Dania Beach in 1999 with a number of West Indian legends, Richie Richardson. Of course, we had Field Wallace played in that match as well. And over the years, we've seen legends from the West Indies like Joel Garner, Courtney Walsh come true. Of course, Mark and his roots in Pakistan as well, he has been able to bring the likes of Jamin Miyanga. And there's a photo with Shizhan Qureshi and facing Jamin Miyanga. And it was total opposite because Jamin was a batsman and he was bowling. And Shizhan was a bowler on batting, but at the age of just 11 years. And added to that, later on, Shoaib Akhtar came. And we can go on and on. A number of players of yesteryear came through. And also in recent times, you see the likes of Kyron Pollard, who is now the West Indies white ball captain, and Nicholas Puran, Sunil Narayan, of course, Lendell Simmons, all the great West Indies players of the day. Evan Lewis, he is also one. You have Faisal Iqbal. I think Faisal is also around here tonight with us. He was a former Pakistani batsman. He played. Hassan Raza was the youngest ever Test cricketer at the age of 15, which is just 2 years younger than MAQ. He played as well in this tournament. And of course, right here in America, we have Shizhan Qureshi, we have Mohammed Ali Khan, who is the darling of Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know if that's the case these days, but I'm sure it still is. And of course, Jasper Malhotra, who I just passed in the corridor outside. He wants to come in, but he said he's not appropriately dressed. So I was supposed to, he's here. And of course, he plays for the United States as well. And of course, we can't forget our good friend Rizwan Chima of Canada. So these are just some of the great men who would have come through the doors of the Cricket Council USA. They would have made a great contribution. What about the Bravo brothers, Darren and Dwayne Bravo? They were also here as well. And over the years, we've had a number of players, and it would be remiss of me if I don't mention that there is a young man by the name of Shazam Babwa out of Trinidad and Tobago, and he actually, of the 10 titles that have been up for grabs at CCUSA so far, he has been involved in winning 5. And I think we should give him a round of applause. Of course, there are others who would have played. I wouldn't necessarily call them stars. One is standing right next to me. That's Mohammed. Markadia.
I just want to say the USA Cricket chairman and president of the board of cricket, Ian Higgins, he could not make it. He just sent a message that he was kind of pressed for some time and his commitment. So he could not make it, and he actually, I want to invite Andrew here. This event is not only recognized by ICC, but also ICC has participated in the event to make sure that the standards that's set up for PSL and IPL and CPL and all the major events are implemented here. And obviously it's an earlier stage for this event, so they're here to educate our young players, how to work in this space and look into. So I'm going to ask Andrew, Greg, please come up here and receive Ian's certificate of recognition and say a few words.
This is my first time at the tournament, and as it's been said by ICC, obviously oversee the governance of the game across the world. But our point is about coming here to protect the players, protect the participants, and protect the integrity of the game through what we do with the anti-corruption messages that we put out. And ultimately, it's about playing cricket and being able to ensure that the cricket over the next 4 days continue to be as successful as clearly it has been so far. And we want to work with everybody within the community to ensure the integrity carries on and they get the results that they need. So thank you very much for taking the time to let me come and be part of your event. Thank you.
Now, I would like to welcome the Vice Chairman, Mr. Mohammed Markadia, onto the stage. Yes. So he is a serial entrepreneur, community activist, a thinker, and a stable influence in Cricket Council USA. He serves as a vice chairman of the board. He's involved with Cricket Council USA since its inception. Whenever we're faced with serious issues, his assistance is sought to help resolve the issues. He quickly asks for a cup of coffee, and the problem is soon solved. A highly respected businessman who brings his tremendous wisdom to the organization. A great friend to Chairman MAQ Qureshi for decades, and the jury is still out as to who deserves a trophy for this.
I promise you my speech will be shorter than my introduction. Because everyone's been thanked already. I really appreciate all of you coming out tonight and taking your time out from your busy schedule. This whole thing wouldn't be possible without everyone's participation. From Dania Beach 20 years ago to here in the 11th edition of the US Open, there are so many people who were involved in this process, and some are here, some are not. We can't name all this. We were just only recognizing a few of the friends of CCUSA. So we appreciate that. I believe we have done our fair share of promoting cricket in the USA while no one was here. And now I'm so happy to see ICC in the last few years are actively involved, and they have put an infrastructure in place. So I'm hoping the cricket is going to take a big jump from here on, because I think it's a very well managed plan. And I think a lot of our friends in this room were part of the executive committee who managed and came up with the constitution, and it's very professionally set up. So we appreciate the recognition that ICC has given us in the last few years, including this year, and we welcome all the ICC officials to come and not only endorse the tournament, but also guide our young players, how to go from here on. So thank you very much. Enjoy the evening. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
And finally, the reason why we are here tonight. Because of him, the man who is madly in love with cricket and has a desire for the development of the game that is second to none. A well-respected businessman who continues to put his money where his mouth is when it comes to cricket, and no one in the United States can match him when it comes to this. The founder of Cricket Council USA, the man with the vision, I'd like to welcome Mr. Mohammed MAQ Qureshi.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming in. I know it's a long journey for me, also for the cricket. It's 20 years of my lifetime that I spent on the Cricket Council USA, and without getting paid any penny, and I actually paid for others, which is unusual if you get work for some place for a month, and if you do not get paid, you quit the job or they fire you. So I'm still here in 20 years later and dragging the cricket to move on. But thanks God, I will tell today when my dream was, and my daughter gave me my daughter's name is Samantha, she gave me one of the speech. He said, write down this thing up and have tonight. Make sure you say all the words his speech. I wish, and I don't bring it. The reason is, I know from my heart what I give, what I seen in my life, I give them. I took a lot of time for my kids and family, but my heart, where my vision was. 20 years ago, I was a very successful businessman, is still there now. I thought I had a dream, which is I was young, I should have cricket be played for the World Cup. I have not that chance. I was under 19, I was 17 years old. I migrated in USA. And in America, you cannot play without have money and jobs and all. So I did not play for 10 years and 15 years in cricket at all. And I have vision, I wish I can play it. But when I become successful, finished my education, and I started the cricket, is in 1997, and I decided, I sold my big company, one of them, 97, I was gonna bring cricket in America, which is never been brought properly, it's supposed to be. If you look at Google, it will tell you all the detail. If I say my words is there, my vision. When I was here, I was one of the successful businessmen. My vision was, I want to work hard and make a man stand for successful which I have done. Then I say I want cricket to have successful in the United States. So I look at it, why is not being success in USA? Long game, as everybody said minutes ago. 99, I decided to start a short version. First time I played with the Jeff Miller is here, and he is the South Florida president in the cricket league. And we played it first in Dania Beach. 2020, 1999, I still remember Thanksgiving weekend, my family was dragging, why did you do the tournament day of the Thanksgiving? But I did it, and there's a T20 started in USA. I'm very proud to say that first time they ever played in America, 1999, in November, in Thanksgiving weekend. That is my foundation start. And US Cricket Council, since I started, then my kids been watching the game since 20 years and been driving every weekend. So my daughter also play cricket, my son is also play cricket, involved very well. I have little one is hiding on the behind with my wife. I want to bring him down here to see him. One child is missing with my wife. She's sitting in the corner because she's been hiding for last 20 years. She's saying, cricket come first, we come second. That's not true, but all his family support. I'm here for today's success. So I said the first cricket stadium, we have cricket in 99, but we have movie, but we don't have movie theater. So it means we don't have stadium. So we approached Mr. Markham, and his wife is here today with his son, Mr. Markham. They came in and we visionally, this is my little boy with my wife. I am Qureshi. So I'm blessed with the 3 boys, and one girl, my daughter, Samantha Qureshi. And let's go back to the Mr. Markham. They decided we have the football team, they want to build a stadium. I said, why not we find a cricket stadium? I want highest taxpayer in Broward County. I have 100 of gas stations around Broward County. So they listened to me on the Broward County and tax appraisal office. And they brought me in to go to have talk to the county, and we have spoke to the commissioner. Mayor was Joe Ignition, initiated, and we awarded tonight for his effort. His dreams want to put this cricket stadium in Broward County. So we have Broward County Stadium, and first international cricket stadium we built. I showed the ground 2004. 2008, first tournament Cricket Council hosted called MAQ T20. That's the first international where they all recognized that Richard Richardson brought the teams from West Indies, Pakistan, Javed Mihdad, Azharuddin from India, and international. That's the tournament. We have lined up over 5,000 people came to participate to watch the game internationally. So they're recognizing it. I get endorsement by Congress. I have endorsement by local mayor, and endorsement today. If you look at it, we started. Say, how come we started for games of America? We here for made it American game. So we say U.S. Open. U.S. Open is playing tennis. U.S. Open is golf. That's the 3rd largest game in North America. Today I can recognize it and say that it's been America accepted the sports of the cricket in USA. There's the 3rd largest game in North America at this time, as you see. Cricket Hall of Fame, Michael Chamber has always been their support. He recognizing it, how hard work we have Cricket Council has been done and devoted. So my dream was there always. So my dream was there. One day I bring American sports, which is have done. I think I did a great job in 20 years, long journey for my life. I devoted day and night, 24/7, and on the cricket. So now I want a little bit break on next year. I still gonna be promoting same way, but I have grown up children and they dedicating and supporting. My daughter, which is running the Cricket Council USA now, which is great to see that. She is taking the legacy for his parents. She's a very strong girl. She hold me tight, said do not spend this and that. but I always give him $100,000 from my heart, and every year for the US Open cricket. Because why the saying you're giving the money and you don't have anything for the youth programs? Everybody asking ICC and we meeting with the USA. I said, how can you tell your children? I have one boy, Zishan. He grown up, born, raised here. But where he can get the job for the cricket? None of them the places. People pay and come to play. I create the US Open. Now they get getting paid. First time, if you look at it, all the players getting paid $100 cash prize. You have college and you have students. College students go to school. They can get a job in a hospital or they can job in some places. But when you play in America cricket and when you go in college, no scholarship. You pay for your own. If you play soccer and football, you will be in success, not in the cricket. So I found US Open make a event which is successful event where you get highest paid. So parents can approach it for youth, encouraging to come play cricket. So you can be participate in US Open. So here you go. US Open is a recognition from the West Indies Cricket Board and been supporting from the day one. And we have the president, he came flew in, all the way down from West Indies just for the US Open endorsement have done, he wants to see that. And ICC, I would really appreciate USA Cricket, all of them, then participating, supporting all the team. Without this thing happen, everybody supported by investors and cricketers and the players. Without that, nothing gonna happen. So they come in and play. This is the first year after 20 years. I have to return the teams, go back. We cannot accept as many teams. Always a bag for the team. I start with the 4 teams. Please come in and I'm gonna discount the fees. I'm not gonna charge you the fees. Come and play US Open. But now this year, everybody paid it. We have to return the fees. Please, we don't have a spot. So they will tell you, I have done very successful for Cricket Council USA, has been done, very good job, not just alone, is this journey run by all of them, my staff. If I start getting the names of all of them, it's going to be a long journey. So I want everybody hungry, and I want to have you guys come in, go start eat, and blessing me, and bless the cricket. God bless America, God bless US Open.
Figure out what's going on here because way past my time to do here.
Real quick before everyone breaks for dinner.
What a night here at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel. We've got Mr. Mack, the founder of the Cricket Council USA. What an exciting night. This is your 20th year anniversary. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling excited, and I was very happy to see that God blessed me for 20 years, and it still is surviving, but very successful surviving. It's not like just surviving, and very happy to see that there was a cricket is recognition, one of American sports, is after tennis and US Open, and golf, US Open cricket is third largest game in North America. So it's a 20-year anniversary, it's a successful journey for me, and we have a lot of supporters. They came all over the places, all over the international, national, and local, and with the family supports. And is the great event will be coming up tomorrow, US Open.
What motivated you to bring cricket to America?
I was playing in the young age, and then I cannot play. When I came to migrate in 1984 in USA, I have not seen cricket been playing very much here. So I want to be passionate to bring it, and I want to have some extra sports for the USA. The school and colleges, they have a lot of opportunity for other kids. They cannot be qualifying for any other sports. They have new sports come in, and they will going to play. We start very minimum 4 teams. Now we have 1,500 team in all USA. So this is our goal achievement. So I'm a passion. Cricket is kind of drugs. Once you start playing, it's good. And is very safely for after school programs. Parents not home, the kids doing bad things, they will be do good things, playing sports. So more sports come in, more benefit for the USA.
And what do you think makes cricket so unique and so special over other sports?
Baseball start from cricket. because they cannot bounce the ball. One day they're playing the cricket on the beach, and they need to bounce the ball. They can't do it, so that's why they start with the baseball. Now, the unique game is cricket is very, like any age of the group they can play. You youngs, 9, 6, 7, up to 80 years old, they can play. With the professional sports, is a certain sport you cannot be play is too old, but cricket never too old. So this is the big.
And how important was it that you guys got to open a stadium in Lauderhill? Tell us about that.
It's important because we have the tournament, we have the games and cricket, but we never have stadium. You have the movie, but you don't have the movie theater. So we will have guarded stadiums and games together to make a stadiums and successful. US Open is coming up to 11th year.
Well, that's exciting. Well, congratulations on everything, and we're so happy to be here tonight with you and celebrating.
Thank you so much.
I have Noman with me, who is the owner of the Faisalabad Falcons. So, what brings you to this edition? I know your team is here for the first time, so tell us a little bit about how you got here for the US Open 2019.
I was doing a research on top entrepreneurs in America, and MAQ name came in. So when I was doing his research, I realized he really put a lot of effort into his passions. And cricket has to be, my passion too. So I like, why not? I am following the footstep of the legend, Mr. Qureshi, and therefore, he suggested me, he's mentoring me. So Faisalabad Falcon is the first time we're enrolled in 11th US Open.
Wow, that's incredible. So how important is Cricket Council USA's role to cricket in America?
There's second to none. They're the first movers. They're making an impact, and millions of dollars has been spent. You won't see much organization. They're not getting help from much of the organization, who are internationally, and they're standing on their own feet, and I wish them best of luck.
Yeah, no, that's great. So where do you think your team's going to leave off?
Oh, we are winning the championship. We are champion. Yeah, we are taking the trophy home.
Well, I'd like to wish you good luck, and hopefully, maybe Faisalabad Falcons will win the 11th edition of the U.S. Open. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I found the hostesses with the mostesses. I'm not sure if that's a word, but we're going to go with that one. These beautiful ladies were actually emceeing the event tonight. Now, tell me how amazing it was to be here tonight.
So it was actually great. The audience was great. They were enthusiastic, and it's the 20th anniversary. So how much more exciting can it get?
Definitely, I agree. Now, how do you feel about the camaraderie that's happening here tonight and the way people are taking to the 20th anniversary?
They're definitely taking it to heart. There has been a lot of blood shed, tears shed. There has been a lot of investments that have been made into this huge, amazing cricket council. So they have a big, huge tournament that's coming up this weekend. So we're very excited, and we're looking for fundraisers for people to chip in to help with this establishment. So we're pretty excited, and everybody's heartfelt.
Well, you guys did a lovely job up there, and if you guys want to get involved, definitely check out the Cricket Council USA. Tanvir, you're looking snazzy tonight. I caught you out in the crowd in that beautiful purple suit. Now, tell me about what is cricket so important to you, and what do you do with cricket?
First of all, I would like to thank you so much for picking me and appreciating and liking my dress. Secondly, I have been traveling to Florida for cricket every year, starting from 2010. And I've seen the growth in the game and the passion of the team that has been putting the cricket together, especially Mr. MAQ Qureshi. He's got the love for the game, and I was hearing his speech. He did a great sacrifice. So I've been involved in cricket in the past few years as well, doing smaller tournaments in Canada. And that's about it. So I've traveled with the family. I love the cricket. I love the weather over here. And that's the reason I travel every year to Florida.
Now, have you ever played cricket yourself?
Yes, I do. But I've stopped playing from past few years, as especially after the kids and the work got busy.
Is there any team that you're rooting for this season?
U.S. Open, the U.S. team. Of course, I would be supporting that. Right?
Awesome.
And especially, I have my friends over here, Saad bin Zafar and Rizwan Chima. I have the great support for them.
Well, thank you so much for being down here in the United States, hanging out with us and supporting the U.S. Open.
Thank you so much.
I have with me Prasad. So could you just share us a little bit about your ventures and the different roles you've played in cricket in Canada?
First of all, I'm the president of Brampton Etobicoke District Cricket League, which is now, for the last 2 years, the largest cricket league in Canada. We have 157 teams. We have two formats. One, which is a T25, it's a derivative I started that in 2008, and it kept doubling. It has 100 teams now, and because of facilities, we have to keep turning people away. The other one is the 50 over format, which was popular for a long time, but the T20, T25 is getting more popular. In Brampton, when I started, it was 18 teams and 3 privately owned grounds. Now we are the largest cricket league in Canada with 157. We have 17 cricket pitches, 3 more coming up with 20. We have the first true lighted cricket facility came up last year. We have another one coming up in 2020, and we have 3 more in the next 2 to 3 years. So within the next 3 years, there'll be 5 actually true ICC lighted cricket facilities in Brampton. And I've been responsible for that with working with the various mayors and cities over 32 plus years, and knocking on the doors, getting them to recognize cricket. And it's now considered in our city as one of the mainstream sports, meaning cricket is not under the table when they look at planning for all the other sports. It's right there equally for planning, for infrastructure, research, development, funding, everything. I was also the president for the provincial body, which is Cricket Ontario, for 5 years. I came in on 2010 when we formed the provincial body, but I took over the presidency in 2014. 2014 to 2019, we completely revived cricket in the entire province, bringing everybody together under one umbrella. And now I'm the vice president, and my first vice president is now the president. And I served 2 years on the Cricket Canada board. So I have spent almost more than half of my life on building cricket and promoting cricket and building infrastructures. I first started in Montreal, Quebec, where I became the vice president of what is called the QCF, and then I left and went to Toronto. And at that time, I had promised my wife I would not be in cricket anymore when we moved. And a couple of guys, I was going to church, and they asked me to come and mediate. And she told me, you're going to get stuck in it. So said, so done. I became the president of the organization, and I've been there for 33 years and counting.
Wow, that's incredible, especially as we try to grow, cricket in North America. That's incredible. So how long have you been associated with the Cricket Council USA?
I came in 2015, along with Shah Zafar, my then vice president. He was running cricket on CCUSA, T20 Open, as a part of the management team. He asked me to come along. MAQ and them got me here. I worked in the management team with the US Open 2015, 2016, and then I was busy on the times that they were having the US Open, as you can see, developing cricket in my own personal life and work, etc. So I took a hiatus for a while, but I've always been involved with MAQ and helping him promote this event. And first time I met MAQ was when he first ventured out of the US into Canada. And that was a T20 he held in Niagara region. So we also managed that event, myself and my Shaji. And then we're now looking at bringing in 2020 a MAQ T10 tournament across the border in Canada, which will be the first of his official high-level venture into Canadian cricket. So we were planning to do this about 3-4 years, but it didn't materialize. But now we are going to do it in 2020. There will be a MAQ T10 Open in Canada that will be played in 2020.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Having Cricket Council USA, go over to Canada and have some matches there, that would be amazing.
Yeah, he has been wanting to do this for a while, and so did we, but we're going to put it together this year.
So how important do you think Cricket Council USA's role is in cricket in USA, growing it and everything?
I think MAQ has done a tremendous job. For example, I work in the insurance industry, where I build software solutions for insurance companies. And I remember when I used to come over in the US and I go to my clients and I talk about cricket, it was like, what are you talking about, right? There's no cricket here. And eventually, gradually, cricket started growing because of the expatriates coming in, working at these companies. And I was involved in insurance companies. And it started to grow. And then I found out MAQ Qureshi, and MAQ Qureshi doing this and voluntarily from his pocket putting in all of these and trying to consciously raise and grow the sports in the US. And I think he has done an amazing job in making people conscious and aware of what the game is and what it's all about. And this US Open, when I came, I can't remember the number of teams, but it was about 20 something. And you can see every year the number of teams. And when something is successful and it's growing and there's a passion behind it, because MAQ Qureshi has a lot of passion that he puts into it, not only his time and his labor, his money, but I can identify with that, not with the money and all of that, but with the passion, because that's what I've had in growing cricket, to sticking for 31 plus years and developing from something from scratch and bring it to where it is today. People who come in, they just see the landscape and they enjoy it, but they have no idea how that landscape started to where it got. MAQ Qureshi is a really good testament to that US cricket now is very well known. MAQ Qureshi is very well known. CCUSA is very well known. ICC has had no choice but to finally recognize the fact that CCUSA and MAQ Qureshi is doing what they want to be done for cricket in America, which is to promote it, grow it, make it available to not only expatriates, but the challenge is always to get it to the level where the normal American will start looking at it and enjoying it. And the crossovers with a few baseball teams into the stadium, those are terrific for getting people. You know, people say that cricket is boring when they talk about the test cricket fight. Baseball, we all love American sports. We love baseball, we love hockey, basketball is my passion. But you watch a baseball game and people are swinging and missing and swinging and missing and nothing is happening. And then when it goes past the 8 innings, it's a 3-4 hour game and just watching people slugging, not doing anything. Cricket is different, so I always tell people, especially Canadians and anyone who don't know the game, come and watch the game. Don't go with stigmatism or what people tell you, watch the game. It's more engaging, it's more entertaining, and it's more challenging than the games that you look at. Yes, hockey is flying up and down the ice. Baseball isn't. Cricket is a hell of a game, especially the T20 format, even the 50-over format, right? So you struggle with all of those when you're trying to build it and take it across a population that doesn't know about it. But in Canada now, cricket is one of the 2 fastest growing sport in Canada. And the only reason soccer is ahead of us is that you can put 5 soccer fields into a cricket pitch, because that's the model that we use in order to grow cricket. They call it a soccer cricket overlay. The 4 soccer pitches are on the 4 ends, and the cricket is in the middle, so it doesn't interfere with that part, but the outfield is obviously sacrificed. But as long as you maintain it and you look after it, it works. And in Canada, in my city, it works for us to grow from 3 pitches to 14, and now we're going 17, and gradually we're getting dedicated pitches, which is only cricket and not multi-purpose, right? But the multi-purpose perspective enables the cities and the municipalities to start to introduce the game, to start to bring it where they could use the parcel of land, this huge parcel of land that you need for cricket, but for not just one sport, but for multiple sports. Yeah. And that's how you have to start. You always have to creep, then walk, then run, then get where you're going, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much for all your insights.
Shahsavar, the event is here. The U.S. Open is finally here. Are you excited?
I'm very much excited about the U.S. Open.
And what's your role here at the U.S. Open?
U.S. Open, my role is I'm a tournament director. So my job responsibility is to ensure that the tournament is running smoothly from start to the end. And hopefully, as every other year, we will have a successful tournament.
Well, after 20 years, I think you guys are going to have a very successful tournament. Now, how many teams play in the U.S. Open?
There are 28 teams playing this year, and there are 7 groups. So they've been divided into 7 groups of 4. And from there they go. First 2 days will be round-robin games, and third day will be a quarterfinal that we call the knockout stage. And the last day will be Sunday, where we'll have a semifinals and finals.
And where did you come from to be part of this event?
I come from Burlington, Ontario, which is a suburb of the Toronto. So I've been coming here for many years, but it's always been a pleasure to come to the cold and run the tournament. From the cold to run the tournament.
It is definitely a beautiful time of year down here. Well, thank you so much for being part of this, and we look forward to an awesome event. this season.
Thank you very much, and I'd just like to say congratulations to MAQ Qureshi and CCUSA and his team and his leadership to put this event together, and the future of cricket is bright in USA.
Thank you. AJ, this must be a very exciting night for you, watching your father and all of his successes. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
I mean, I feel great. It's really cool to see, all of this come together, especially like when everything started, just being a little kid, seeing that like no one came out for cricket.
And so do you go to all the games?
So far, I think I've actually made it to every single U.S. Open at least. I know there are games all across the country now. He'll have them in Chicago and Virginia. Those will be the ones I don't make quite as often.
Well, I know you're not a player, but are you a big fan?
I enjoy watching the game. I definitely think it's something that I've learned to appreciate more. I played a little hobby league, though, back on Sundays, so.
Do you have a favorite team at all?
Really, I got to root for my brother, right? Any team that Sean's on, you got to support the family.
So where do you see cricket going in the future, especially in the United States?
I think in the United States it could grow a lot, right? Especially, as more people immigrate, as more people like grow up with the sport existing and being played around. I think, there's no reason it couldn't be as big as any other sport in the States, I think.
And why do you think the Cricket Council in the U.S. is so important to the sport?
Well, ultimately, if there is no governing body of cricket, someone has to be the one to put everything together. You can't have nationwide tournaments if there's no one organizing it. And I think having CCUSA step up and fill that void was really important.
Definitely. Well, hey, we're going to have a great time here this season at the U.S. Open, so thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
I have with me here USA Cricket's very own Jessica and Malhotra. So how many years have you been playing US Open for?
This is my 6th year.
Wow, 6th year. Do you have any memories you would like to share with us?
Yes, I mean, last year, my innings in the semi-final against your favorite team, Somerset Cavaliers, unfortunately, we were on the losing side, but I made 97 and 40-odd balls. But previous year, I had back-to-back centuries as well, so I think it's still one of the records in US Open. So, I mean, I've had some good time in US Open and I enjoy it.
No, I remember that innings. That was an incredible innings. But I don't think Somerset's my favorite this year. We'll see. I'll have to pick a new favorite.
Right.
So how important do you think Cricket Council USA has been in the growth of cricket in America?
I think, to be honest, it's been very important. I've been very close to MAQ, and I've been playing with him for 6 years, and then all the things he's been doing is, giving a very important platform from youngsters like us to showcase our talent and, rub shoulders with the international players. And obviously, you do well, you get noticed, and I think which is a great thing for US cricket.
So which team are you playing with this 11th edition of the US Open?
Let it be a surprise.
Okay, I guess we'll have to find out. Do you think you'll get to the finals this year?
Let it be a surprise.
Okay, we'll keep it a surprise. Let's stay tuned to find out Jessica and Malhotra makes it to the finals or not. Thank you.
Chris, I know you traveled far just to come here for the U.S. Open. Where are you coming from?
From Baltimore, Maryland.
And so what made you a big cricket fan?
I'm actually, to be honest, I don't know too much about cricket. My buddy Ahmad Rana is into cricket. He works with me, and in the past I've been fortunate enough to support local teams, sponsor them. So it's a great event, and got to learn so much about cricket, and the inroad is making in the United States.
And what is your company that you sponsor the cricket teams?
Gimere Homes is my real estate company.
And that's up in Baltimore?
Baltimore, yeah, Maryland and Pennsylvania.
So now you're a fan of cricket?
I am, yeah, yes.
How many years have you been sponsoring the teams?
About for last 4 years.
And now you're down here to learn even more about cricket because you're going to be at the biggest tournament ever.
I'll be back next year.
Awesome. Well, hey, keep doing that. Keep supporting your local teams as the U.S. and the council. Hold on, I'm sorry. The Cricket Council U.S. Sorry, there you go. As the Cricket Council USA continues to grow here and thrive in America.
You guys are doing an awesome job. I mean, it's awesome. Thank you.